The issues that you can resolve through a divorce mediation process are all of your child-related issues as well as all of your asset and debt issues. And the really excellent thing about choosing to use mediation, especially if you have children involved, is the thing that tends to be the most difficult for children when parents are ending a marriage is conflict. And so the less conflict that you can have as you're going through ending your marriage, the better it's going to be for the children. And you can also be very creative in the process too. If you leave it up to a court to decide children's schedules, or the court has things like their standard orders of visitation, oftentimes these are not things that work for any particular couple. It came about because this is, if the couples can't agree, ultimately a court has to decide something. But if the couple can sit down and talk about what works best for your professional, your personal life, and as it relates to getting kids to activities and what have you, then the mediation process really can be a much more creative process to set up a good schedule. Also, what you're doing is you're setting a good course for the future. If you have young children, for instance, and you're trying to put together a plan now and a schedule, well, life is going to change. You're not going to be doing the same things at 3 as you are at 13. And so to set the course, and even, if the parties can't do so with making changes to the schedule on their own, but coming back to mediation versus, again, going through a very lengthy, expensive court battle to alter schedules as it relates to kids or any other issues that relate to kids, you're far ahead of the game if you can start utilizing a process that really is good for the parents and good for the kids. So that's the kid issues. Now, if you don't have kid issues, you've taken one thing off the plate, but you can absolutely resolve all of your financial and as it relates to your debts and your asset issues. And you really should, because a court does what a court always does, which is tries to, if you let a court decide your decision, a court is going to try and make things 50-50 for people as a general matter. Well, you don't really need to pay two attorneys to go through that process to try and get your assets and debts to come out to 50-50. So what you do to help expedite that process and make it work through mediation is you try to get values on all of these things, all of your assets, know how much the debts are, and so you can look at very tangible documents and appraisals and things like that, so that you can list out and you can see what you have. There needs to be full disclosure. That's an important element too. And then the parties are welcome to, again, divide up things how it works best for them. You can resolve your spousal support and child support issues as well. Those sometimes are a little touchier subjects, but they can be done. And even if you resolve 90% of your issues through mediation and there's still, if there's some issue that you can't resolve, you're still way ahead of the game in terms of the time and the cost and what have you, utilizing the mediation process for as much as you can versus, having all these things contested in a court.